Oh my god, it is so laughable. Oh my god. Oh my god, this Flyers team. Oh my god, they can't even close out a game. They are so bad. They are so bad. It's so funny. It is so funny. It's sad. It's really sad, but I really just cannot help but laugh on how funny it is. The way this game just completely imploded in the final 3 minutes. It is so funny. You take a 3-2 lead, you allow them to tie the game, and then you let them take the 4-3 lead, and then you allow the empty netter. Oh my god, this Flyers team is simply just one gigantic roller coaster this entire season, and it's just on a constant, like, downward spiral. It's so funny. It really is. I can't help but laugh. I really just can't. It's no point of getting mad at this team anymore. You just laugh. You really, it really is. You just laugh. So, before we get into tonight's game, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you are new to the channel, the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate that. So if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for any tickets to any upcoming sporting event, concert, whatever you can think of, use the code TTPSPORTS down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So that could be a hockey game, basketball, football, baseball, whenever the hell that decides to come back. $20 off, takes the fees away. You can use that $20 for a drink, food item, because you know how expensive those are at arenas. So yeah, free $20 in your pocket. TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Flyers lose 5-3 to the Washington Capitals, and they are now on, what, a 4-game losing streak now? Since coming out of the All-Star break, and it's probably going to be even more with the upcoming games. So, at the end of the day, you just say, man, how long is this losing streak going to last? How long is this one going to last? My goodness. It's funny, too. I don't think the Flyers played bad. I really don't. I'm not going to lie. I honestly thought it wasn't a bad game. It's just that ending. When you summarize it, it's bad teams find ways to lose. And I mean really bad teams find ways to lose really badly. It's so bad. It is really, like, seriously, when you have Gerry Mayhew being your top offensive performer, you know it's bad. I know you're ravaged with injuries, but you're bad. You are so bad. Like, congrats for Gerry Mayhew. Like, good to see that he's doing this stuff. But seriously, it is so bad. It is so bad. My God. My goodness. So, like I said, I don't believe this was a terrible game whatsoever. It was a very much of a back and forth pace, I would say, throughout the first period. Flyers and Capitals throughout this game, they both get a good amount of power plays. And for the Flyers, power plays, they actually did score on one in this economy, which I am very surprised about. The Capitals, they also scored on one of their power plays as well, but that's not until later in the game. The first goal of the game actually comes not until very late into the first period, around like a minute and a half left. You get the fourth line out there for the Capitals against the Flyers' first line, and they're setting up in the offensive zone, and it's Kempney from the point putting one past Jones. It looked like there was a couple of screens there as well. Becomes a 1-0 Capitals lead going into the intermission, so a very late goal given up by the Flyers. What else is new? So you go into the second period. Flyers get a power play. First unit can't do anything out there, but the second unit, my goodness, this passing sequence by Morgan Frost, Ratcliffe, Lindblom, all the way to Gerry Mayhew, who's back door, putting it behind Samsonov, and it becomes a 1-1 game. Mayhew's fourth goal in the season, and like I said, he's been their best offensive producer in the past couple of weeks, and it's just like, him? Out of all people. Yeah, I mean, he's been one of the best offensive producers, besides the guys like Drew and all that stuff, but seriously. Seriously, but then the Capitals eventually get a power play because this was an entire sequence throughout the second period where Lawton was basically getting into it with a bunch of other Capitals players, i.e. also Tom Wilson as well. So the Flyers, that original power play they got, then spiraled into a Lawton taking a penalty as well directly right after that, and becomes a goal by Snively, becomes a 2-1 Capitals lead. But then the Flyers chip in very late in this second period is a rush by Travis Konechny and Travis Sanheim with a nice feed by Claude Giroux as well, feeding across crease to Konechny, who gets a 2-on-1 pass to Travis Sanheim going back door, puts it by Samsonov, ties the game up at 2 late in the second period. And the Flyers, they get a couple of power plays basically throughout the rest of the game as well. The Capitals get their couple as well, but no team really able to score going in towards the end of the game. But I would say it's a little bit of a back and forth pace in the third period. Both teams get their chances. Flyers get their chances. Capitals get their chances. But the Flyers, I would say, like I said, I don't think this was a bad game by the Flyers. It's just at one standpoint where you say that bad teams find ways to lose games, and this is that scenario. So you go into the late stages of the third period. Flyers rush up the zone. You get a beautiful rush by Sanheim, who gets a trailing Gerry Mayhew going up into the slot. Sanheim throws it onto the net, and Mayhew finds the way to get his stick on it, the one time it into the empty net past Samsonov, and it becomes a 3-2 Flyers lead. So you're like, wow, the Flyers get a late goal, 4 minutes, little under 4 minutes left in the game. Okay, try to close it out. And they completely implode. They completely implode. Because they just completely break down. They just can't get pucks out of their own zone. And it turns into a turnover where you get a shot from the point by John Carlson. Gets deflected by Garnett halfway, past Martin Jones. Game tied at 3. And then not that long after, a little bit over a minute and a half, it's once again Garnett halfway off of a terrible turnover by Evan Provorov. I have no idea where the hell he was trying to go with this puck. He's trying to throw it into the middle of the ice, get halfway in the slot. One times it past Jones. 4-3 game. And then the Flyers pull the goaltender to try to tie the game up late. But then it's John Carlson getting the luckiest bounces off of the boards, and it trickles into the empty net to make it a 5-3 Capitals lead. And that is how your game ends. There's really, honestly, there's just like, I would say, like, once again, yes, it was a better game played by the Flyers, and I do think they've been playing better games as of late, but at the end of the day, in my honest opinion, it just doesn't matter. It really does. Just roll the tanks. Roll the tanks till the end of the season. Basically, that's all you should do, because you're not going anywhere. So, trade deadline, we know what you do. Trade away all your free agents, Claude Giroux being one of them. And sadly, yes, I hate saying that as much as anyone, but I do believe that, even though we had Claude Giroux's press conference a couple of days ago, I don't believe Claude Giroux is not going to be traded until after he plays his 1,000th game in a Flyers uniform. That's what I expect to happen. So, basically, it's a whole standpoint right now going towards the trade deadline, which is not for basically a little bit over a month and a week possibly at this point, which is, I believe it's March 21st or March 20th. It's one of those two dates. It's on a Monday. But, yeah, we still got basically a month at that point, so there's still a good amount of hockey to be played, and there's most likely going to be a lot of bad hockey. There's going to be a lot of losing, especially with this upcoming stretch for the Flyers. But before we get into that, let's go over the rest of the stats for this game. So shots on goal, 33-25 in favor of the Flyers. Flyers dominated in the faceoff circle, 61%. Both teams score 1 goal in the power play. Flyers go 1 for 4, with the Capitals going 1 for 3. Physical game, 22 hits to 14 in favor of the Flyers. Both teams block a ton of shots. 15-14 in favor of the Capitals. Both teams give the puck away a lot. And shots on goal per period. First period, 11-8 in favor of Philly. Second period, 12-6 in favor of the Flyers. And the third period was 11-10 in favor of Washington. So, basically just your another example of bad teams find a way to lose the game. And looking at the division standings where the Flyers sit at this current standpoint, they are 15-25-9 on the season with 39 points. They are currently tied with the New Jersey Devils, who also have 39 points, but technically the Devils played one more game than the Flyers, so they remain in the last place spot with the Flyers having that game in hand. The Flyers are in 7th place, but both teams are technically still tied at this point. Looking at the league where the Flyers sit overall, the Flyers are the 5th worst team in the NHL. The 5th worst team. 28th overall. And the teams that are below them, the New Jersey Devils, the Seattle Kraken, the Arizona Coyotes, and the Montreal Canadiens. Buffalo and Ottawa both getting wins. They hopscotch the Flyers. And also, Ottawa has a couple of games in hand as well, so there you go. They're probably going to get another couple of points within that situation. But the Flyers are continuing their free fall down the NHL standings. And hopefully the New Jersey Devils can get a couple of more points than the Flyers, and the Flyers would be the 4th worst team in the NHL, just bumping that draft lottery stock up a little bit, just in case. You never know what the hell happens this year with the draft lottery and the Philadelphia Flyers. Just tank to get that best lottery pick as possible. I would like to have a top 5 pick in this draft, even though sadly this draft is definitely not as stacked as, well, definitely not nowhere close to as stacked as next year's is, but still, having a top 5 in the NHL draft is still nothing, I would say nothing to be worried about there. You could still get a very good player in the top 5, especially in this draft too. This draft is a good draft, but it's nowhere close. It's a good draft, this upcoming 2022 NHL draft, but it's nowhere close to as stacked as next year's draft is, which sucks. But hey, maybe you can try to get some 2023 picks in this trade deadline, so maybe you can try something out there. So, looking at the rest of the schedule for the month, we all know the Flyers, they just started an 8-game homestand, so this was one of their games. The rest of the games on this homestand: Carolina, St. Louis, Washington once again next Saturday. Then going into March, got Edmonton, Minnesota, Chicago, and Vegas to wrap up this homestand. And who knows how long this losing streak is going to go, because Carolina, that's definitely going to be a loss. St. Louis, that's most likely going to be a loss. Washington, after 3 days off, probably going to be a loss. Edmonton, iffy. Minnesota, loss. Chicago, iffy. They're not that good of a team either. Vegas, most likely a loss. Yeah. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see this stretching at least to a 7-game losing streak at this point. I can definitely see that. Oh, Flyers. Oh, Flyers. My goodness. It's come to this point. It really has. Well, it actually hasn't come to this point. We've basically been at this point the entire season, but it's really just funny. It really is. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, I want to hear your thoughts on this game. What are your thoughts on this collapse at the end of the game by the Philadelphia Flyers? Really, there's just not that much to talk about. It really is. It's literally just the same shit that we say every goddamn game. So what's the point of me discussing that every goddamn recap? So hey, I want to hear your thoughts on it. So don't forget to leave those comments down in the comment section below. I like to read those as always. Don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.